Welcome to the Church Solutions Podcast, brought to you by JSL Solutions. The Church Solutions Podcast is designed to help equip you and your church in the use of technology and other tools and services. And now, here are your hosts, Steve Lacy and Phil Thompson.
Welcome to another edition of the Church Solutions Podcast.
Hi, my name is Steve Lacy.
And I'm Phil Thompson. And we come to you every week, almost every week, with a podcast. We work with churches. We work with ministries. We are actually a tech company called JSL Solutions, and we do several things.
We do. We provide live streaming through StreamingChurch.tv, church management through MyFlock, and a mobile app called Church App Live. And we had launched recently Greeter.church.
That's right. But enough about us. We actually had a guest today who was unable to make it. She canceled on us, but she'll be back here. We'll reschedule her for a future event. So it's just you and me, Steve.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about something we know about this time, huh?
Exactly. Well, yeah.
Well, we think we know about.
We know lots of things, but yes. So since we do tech stuff and specifically streaming video, and we've addressed this, but it's been a while now, I do get people that are customers of ours or even people thinking about doing streaming video like, okay, I want to stream, but how do I get people to actually view my streaming broadcast? How do I get that? And so I thought, we thought maybe we would address that today. Okay,
it sounds like we get that as well. Or a lot of people, when they're just starting out, have unreasonable expectations for what the number of people that are going to view their service. So it's not a if I build it they will come thing, but
right.
It's if I build it and promote it and do the things we talk about here, then they will come.
Right, yeah. So very quickly, let's just address, what you just mentioned. And again, we've got kind of two opposite ends of the spectrum here. Some people will think, hey, if I just do streaming video, if I just start streaming, I'm just going to have hundreds and hundreds of people, maybe even thousands of people every week.
Yeah, that is true.
Not the case.
Yeah, not the case. And that, yeah. And there's some that may stream a little bit to, Facebook, and then they go and like, wow, I had 400 views of my service, and that's really awesome. But what they don't really let you know is that there's 400 views, and the average viewer time was 8 seconds or so.
Right.
So,
yeah, exactly. So you have people looky-loos that will come and go, especially on a platform like Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook gets a lot of exposure.
Yeah, Twitter, something like that. So yeah, there are some different things. So let's back up here for a moment, and let's first of all talk about how you can get more viewers. And there's kind of two things to think about here. One would be, what kind of viewers do you want? Do you want people globally viewing your stream? And that's fine if that's what you want. What you might be interested in, maybe a little more interested in would be possibly local people in your area that view your stream. And there's two different reasons or two different ideas behind that.
And we can also segment this out into what are some of the things that I can do for free as part of how I do my service.
Right.
There's some things that are kind of more inward, directed to how I conduct my service and what happens in my service and that sort of thing.
Right. All right. Well, so first of all, let's start somewhere. So let's start with. Let's just start locally, all right? And let's start. Here are some things you can do to attract people to your that may be in your area, because one of the pros of streaming video is, there are people looking for churches out there, and they're going to go to your website first before they walk in your door in most cases,
right?
And so if you're streaming video, that's a great opportunity to give people, a look inside your window, so to speak. They can see what your church is like. They can see what the music's like. They can see what the speakers are like, the pastor's like.
So this typical person, they're living in, my Anytown, USA, and they're looking for saying, we need to get back into church. Right. And so they go to Google and start searching, Christian church in Anytown, USA, and there's going to be a listing of websites that come up.
Right. Yeah.
So one of the first things you can do, just like as you mentioned, as people come visit your site, make it very prominent that you have live streaming.
Exactly. Don't hide it. And when I say hide it, I mean you want to really have it out there. And the churches that really want to reach people and do it well generally will have something very, very prominent on the homepage.
Right.
Live streaming, view live service here. If they have archives, like we provide media vaults and on-demand streaming, our company does. So many will have the same thing. They'll have a block that says live stream. The other one will be view recorded services.
Right. So I know a lot of times people are going to, they're going to click on a few of these links and they want to get a feel for what your service is like. Yeah. So I think it's real important to have, there's 3 things that kind of top my list, and that would be access to the live stream, if you're live streaming, access to the on-demand so they can go in and see what the style of preaching is and worship is, and then I'm new here kind of thing. What can I expect?
A link that would say, welcome. Here's if you're new, Yeah, exactly. So that would be good. So let's back up for a moment, though, since we're going through this kind of in incremental stages. So new people are going to look for your website. They're going to look for a church.
Right.
How do you make sure your website is on a short list of churches in, Tucson, Arizona?
Well, that is a really challenging question. So there's a couple of ways. One is that you want to optimize your site for SEO, search engine optimization. Primarily, just Google's the only one that really matters. And so there's a little bit. I mean, there's some best practices you can follow. You can hire somebody to make sure your site shows up. So there's 2 sections when you're searching for Google. There's the organic results, which are those that you'd want to optimize your site for SEO and have the right keywords and be a reputable site and have links from other reputable sites. So you show up in organic. Or the other area is the paid search area, the
Google AdWords.
The Google AdWords.
Right.
So that's a guaranteed way to be on the first page of your site.
Okay. All right. So I don't want to spend a lot of time on that because what we're talking about is how to get more people to watch your streaming video.
Right.
But it does start with people getting to your website.
Yes.
Especially new people.
Right.
So new people finding your website and easily finding where to get the stream or the archives. Let's talk a little bit about even your church, though, because you can, as we mentioned at the very beginning of this podcast, there's actually some ways you can do this without spending a lot of money. You can certainly, the first thing I would do if I was doing streaming video in my church, and we have, obviously, is I want to make sure everybody in the church knows about it.
Yes.
Even the people that come. In fact, the people that come to your services are one of the best means of communicating to others.
Right, exactly.
That you're doing streaming video.
Yes.
So it's got to be in front of people all the time.
All right. And it's as I mentioned, if I'm searching for a church, the toughest thing to do is to hop in a car and pack your kids up and walk through some brand new, strange church. So having the live stream is a great on-ramp for people to check out your church. And so if you've got people, if you're letting everyone know that that's within the service that you're at, they can invite their friends and go, hey, check out my church. It's at this, domain.com, and we live stream every Sunday, so you can, attend in your underwear next Sunday if you want.
Exactly. So, I personally would you have your time of announcements? I would verbally mention it. I would have some kind of a graphic that says, don't forget, we're doing live streaming. Tell your friends. And then I would also put it all over the church in different places, material. I would obviously have it in your newsletter if you send an email blast out, or even a printed newsletter that you send in the mail.
And put it in there.
One
of the best ways is to make sure that those that are conducting the service, the senior pastor, the worship leader, announcements people, that they address the online crowd.
Yeah.
So that completely gets the message across that everybody's there.
Exactly.
Like, there's an online crowd watching this as well.
Yeah, exactly. And so we cannot overemphasize this enough. It really is a great way to get the word out that you're streaming. So it needs to be in front of your people all the time. Not just once a month or once every couple of weeks. Always have it out there. Like Steve just mentioned, if you're streaming during your announcements or whatever, make sure you address the online crowd, and the people there will get the message. I would have it on material, printed material.
Mm-hmm.
I would, like I said earlier, newsletter stuff. I would put it everywhere. I would even have little cards. You can get business cards printed very reasonably, like Vistaprint or something like that, and you could literally put together a little business type card, that says, here's how to find us, here's the live stream, service times, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
A great tool that you could give out, have it available for people to grab it in the lobby, wherever, stick it in your programs, stuff your programs with it, get the word out.
Right.
Very
and
important.
A lot of the churches, our church does this as well, is there's a sign as you enter the sanctuary saying, this service is live streamed, you may be captured.
Yeah.
And so it kind of gives everybody a heads up for,
Yeah.
you may be captured on
video.
On video. It's
not captured, but captured on video.
Yeah.
You
may be captured. Yes.
There was a church in the community I pastored in that supposedly would close their doors when you walked in their worship service and they would close the doors and not let you out. So that's, I don't know how true that is, but you could be captured on video, which that's a whole nother issue. But people have got to know that you're doing this. It communicates it very well. Another way very reasonable way to get the word out, if you want viewers of your live streaming, communicate it on social media and do it often.
Right.
I would post the archives on social media, a link to the archives. I would post even a link. I mean, with our company, you can stream to our platform as well as Facebook, and you can certainly do that. Or you could just put a link, just saying, hey, join us, and just have the link in your Facebook, your Twitter,
right,
Instagram. Social media, use it on a regular basis to promote your live streaming.
Right. And we've got tools built into the platform that allows those that are viewing to share the live stream with their friends and stuff. So
and that's another point that you just touched on here as we talk about getting more viewers, and that is, once you do have viewers, we strongly encourage you to communicate with those viewers, and as you mentioned just earlier, addressing them from the platform, but also having like a web host or a church online host, whatever you want to call it, church online pastor, where there's chat on your platform. And again, we offer chat, and you don't have to have it, but you could certainly use it. And if you do use it, which we recommend you do, I would welcome people that come in and communicate with those people and chat with people, because if you connect with those people, there's a greater likelihood they're going to come back.
They'll come back, and they may tell their friends too. So
exactly, and again, as we've said before, if they're local, there's a good chance they're going to actually show up at your facility.
Right.
And
that's I think, I'm not sure what the exact stats are, but I think it's still pretty high, because you'll get. If somebody's looking for a church and they're on Google, they're going to, hey, here's our top 3, and we're going to check these out. And they may check yours out online first.
Yeah.
So
I think it's important. So, again, streaming video, you can take it, and it's a great tool, but you do have to kind of cultivate it. You have to work with it a little bit. You have to make a little bit of an effort to connect with people that watch and follow up with those kind of people. But it's a wonderful tool, and if you will do some of these things, you will attract viewers and you will keep viewers.
Right, and we've talked all the free things so far, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much all. I mean, we mentioned Google AdWords, but a lot of this is you can just do it. And it's not that hard to do. It just takes a little bit of time to do.
Yeah.
So,
a little bit of an intentional ministry.
Intentional. Purpose-driven, as the saying goes. Yeah. So streaming video you can get viewers by doing that. So we've covered on making it easy for people to find your stream, getting it out there on social media, communicating it to every avenue within your actual facility,
right.
The people, the material. I mean, you can even hang things on the wall,
Right.
nicely done that would say, don't forget we'll stream live and tell a friend, kind of a deal.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about some paid avenues that we can kind of the details and recommendations for some paid avenues.
Yeah, and we're still kind of talking in the local vein here.
Yeah.
So this is something that we actually had talked about before, but I think it bears forth bringing up again. And another great avenue would be Facebook ads.
Yeah, we can go to the Facebook ads, right? You can actually do. We'll get into this a little bit more, but the both with Facebook ads and the Google AdWords, you can target who you want to see the ad and when they would see the ad.
So tell us more.
So there's, for example, if you're you want your ministry to grow, and you do all the things we talked about that you can do for free, but you can also go in and say create a Google ad, and you can set it so I only want people within driving distance of my church, which may be just my city,
right,
to see these ads. So it's a really cost-effective way to advertise your church to those that are going to have a high probability of attending, as opposed to doing you could do a national or even an international Google AdWords ad if you wanted to reach way beyond. But Facebook, one of the things that we had experimented with in the past was setting the Facebook ad to only target the demographic that you're after. So you can slice and dice beyond the time the ad goes out. And you can also say, I only want people that are interested in this particular hobby, that live in this town, that are this age, that are married, that have kids, and because Facebook has a lot of data on everyone.
They do. So
you can really specify the way your ad runs. And one of the things that we had played with was to set it up so the ad runs when your services are live. Yeah. So you can even neck it down to, I want this particular target audience, and I'm willing to pay a premium to get in front of a lot of Facebook pages for those that meet my criteria. And you can set up an ad that says, late for church? No, it's not too late now. You can join us right now, so that you run the Facebook ad during the time the live services are. Yeah. So you can attract those that are on Facebook Sunday morning and say, I should be in church. Oh, I can go to church.
Yeah, yeah. And like you said, it's really good because you can really specify and really target. Really directly target and really hit what you're looking for. And here's a nice thing about this too. If you wanted to take something and hit some people, maybe not Sunday morning, but maybe some other night during the week. There are people out there that are browsing Facebook, and they're, it's late at night, they're bored, they might be lonely, might be looking for answers. You could always do a simulated live. We act, well, for us, StreamingChurch.tv, we give people the ability to do a simulated live.
Right. And what is that? What is simulated live?
Simulated live would be taking a past service that you've streamed live and scheduling it and run it again.
Right, that you've recorded.
You've recorded it.
The whole service from the beginning, start to finish. So announcements, worship, pastor's message.
The whole thing. And so you could set it up and replay it, so to speak, just like it's actually live, but you don't even have to be at the facility. You don't have to be at the church. So it's, when you talk about streaming something, okay, I got to be at the church, got to turn the cameras on, got to, okay, well, even if I'm not doing a live service, I still got to turn my live encoder on, right? So I got to be at the church, blah, blah. You don't have to do any of that.
Right.
You just go to your admin control panel. It sounds like a plug for us, but that's good. We can plug ourselves. You can go to your admin control panel as long as you have a computer and the internet, and you can get in there and you can set up something you've streamed in the past, set it up, schedule it, and run it. You could run it at midnight if you wanted to.
Yeah,
so do that.
So churches will. I mean, there's a lot of people that work weekends. Actually, I interface with somebody somewhat regularly, and they said they have to work every weekend, so they can't go to church.
Yeah.
So, but if you scheduled, your ministry had a Tuesday evening service, that was a simulated live service,
Yeah.
and so you get others from the church that are attending that Tuesday evening service as well. It's a way to extend your ministry into the middle of the week, and you don't have to get the band together and have the pastor teach another message, and you just
right. You can just do it, and again, what we mentioned earlier. You don't even have to be at the facility to turn the lights on or the live encoder on.
Right.
You can just do it right from a computer. So again, it's a great opportunity, and you can use Facebook. And you spend a little bit of money on Facebook. You don't have to spend a lot to target your audience, and then schedule the time you want the ad to run.
Right.
And it will run. And, if you want to do simulated live or a live stream or whatever, you can do that and schedule that Facebook ad to run, hitting the specific target you're looking for, and you will see some results.
Right. And we'd encourage that you have a host at that simulated live service.
We think it's good.
Yeah, we think you want to host at all your services,
yeah.
but especially the simulated live, because you're going to want someone there to answer questions and potentially pray with people, that sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we're flying off the seat of our pants here, so to speak, because our guest didn't make it, but we're talking about how to reach more people. So we're talking locally here. Anything else we need to cover locally?
No,
I think that's probably a good start. And the reason I made it, I kind of made a distinction between locally and globally was because, and there are lots of churches say, you know what, I want to reach people globally, and that's perfectly fine. I mean, you can certainly do that. I know when we first started streaming at your church, I think initially were doing globally, reaching people globally. I think we even reached some people in China, if I remember right.
We had a church that I think it was in Africa.
Yeah,
there was a body of believers that came together and they formed a little local deal where they projected up the service, and
they projected the stream.
And they became they were wanting to become an affiliate
satellite campus, so to speak.
Satellite campus thing, yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, those things happen, and they can happen. I was always curious about the China one because our company provides lots of detailed records and data, and you could see there was people viewing from China as well as other places, and I was particularly curious about that. But, globally, again, it kind of comes down to getting your website out there, and then I guess to really be more specific, you could do something like Google AdWords again globally,
right?
Or even Facebook globally, I guess, right?
Right, you could
do all that to get the word out, and you could certainly build your audience, reaching people outside your city. Again, I would just sit down with my leadership team or whatever and decide, okay,
where's our focus, and
what do we want to do here,
right? And obviously, it's gonna. Depending on what your budget is, it can be much more expensive to try to reach people around the world than it would be, just running the ad in your own neighborhood.
Yeah, but again, it depends on what you feel like God's calling you to do, and you may feel like, hey, I want to reach people globally. I don't care if they're in another country and they can't necessarily come to my church like a local person might be able to, but I still want to give them the message. I want them to get hope and get find the gospel. That's a great thing to do. So again, it kind of comes down to getting the word out globally, which would mean for the most part getting your website out there globally, and using the tools with Google AdWords, and then using Twitter, using Facebook for those, and then Instagram's coming on strong now too. Lots of people viewing Instagram.
Yeah, you
can run ads on Instagram. You can do even Snapchat stuff, which I know nothing about and get easily confused when I look at it. So I don't know. But again, social media is a great avenue to reach not only locally, but also globally. And as you just mentioned, you can certainly target your audience. And a good way to reach people and build your audience. But as you said at the very beginning, the idea that you're just going to have hundreds and hundreds of people the first few times you stream, or even the first few months you stream, probably not going to happen unless you work really hard to farm it, to cultivate it, to make it happen. Unless you happen to be a global ministry anyhow, and everybody knows who you are. And
Right.
I guess if you do stream, you're going to get people all over.
Yeah, and we found just on average that the size of your ministry that people attend in person is going to be a really good indicator of what your online stream is.
That's
so
true.
or your online audience is going to be, and there's a pretty good correlation. Some of the churches that do a really good job of the online are going to have really
Right.
larger percentage of the physical attendance, and those that aren't promoting it so well will get do much smaller audiences.
Yeah. It's about a 10-to-1 ratio?
Yeah, it's about a 10. We found kind of about
roughly.
Yeah, so that 10% of your weekend attendance, you'll get that same
Right.
Viewers online, which is a great argument for streaming, because how many pastors would be excited about growing their ministry 10%?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, with just adding a new feature, you reach a 10% of your larger audience.
Yeah, at least 10%, maybe more. All right, good. All right, well, we're pretty much out of time here. So if you have questions about streaming video or mobile apps, obviously we're talking about streaming today and trying to reach people. We would love to hear from you. You can just send us an email, support@StreamingChurch.tv. And you got some stuff you want to add to this, maybe some feedback, some comments on it. Maybe you think we're out to lunch. Or maybe you think, hey, here's some things you could do that would even make it better. We, again, would love to hear from you. And check us out. And tell your friends about the Church Solutions podcast. We're available on iTunes and a couple other platforms, right? I forget where we're at. But we're out there.
Everywhere your finest podcasts are found.
Exactly. Because we're right up there with the finest.
Yes.
All right. We're done. He is Steve Lacy. I'm Phil Thompson. We do appreciate your time today. We hope you're doing well. And again, if we can help you with anything, please let us know. We love helping churches. And until next time, you have yourself a great day. We'll catch you on another edition of the Church Solutions Podcast. Take care now.